Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Weird World Podcast. I'm Dean.
I'm Carrie.
Hi.
Hi.
This is going to be part 2 of the Aimee, Semple, McPherson saga. I promise we'll get to her disappearing like we teased in the beginning.
Immediately.
Are we really? Okay, good.
Yep.
Let's go ahead.
Do we want to give a little
Sure.
recap?
Yeah, do a little recap of the first part.
Aimee was born in...
Oh, that's going to be a long recap.
Well, I was going to say she was born
Just going to do part 1 over again.
a rural farmer's kid in Canada to a 14-year-old mother. I don't know if she was 14 when she was born, but her dad was 54. Her mom was 14 when they got married. Gross.
Mm-hmm.
And she became enamored with Pentecostal evangelistic kind of religion and became a gospel car preacher and made her way to Los Angeles, where she became very popular and started her own temple with, like, she would have regularly 5,000 people come. She was doing up to 22 sermons a week.
Which I called in the verbiage for the first one, I call it the first megachurch. Do you know if it is that kind of the first? I mean,
I don't know. Nothing ever said that it was, but
I mean, really, like, that's really evangelical, rousing kind of thing. That was fairly new. They do that in tents and things like that, and for many, many years. But to have a permanent, huge, multi-thousand person home, I think she may have been a trailblazer.
You mean church? You said home.
Church.
Yes, I think she was too. And there were other female preachers that she did kind of pattern herself after, but I think she was the biggest ever.
Yeah, that's another thing too. I know we've said this before in the show, but she was huge. She was a household name at her height in I think the 20s.
Yes.
So yeah, she's a star.
We lived in Los Angeles for 10 years. I don't ever remember hearing anything about her.
She was way
no,
before
I
our
know
time.
that.
Decades before our time. So yeah.
But we knew about points of interest within Los Angeles, and I never heard about this Foursquare Church or anything like that.
It was long gone before we were even born. So
I wonder what's there now. Anyhow, okay, so now we're up to 1926.
Mm-hmm.
All of her husbands are gone. They're either dead or she divorced him.
They're slightly useful for her time, and she gets rid of it.
So her mom, Minnie, has been with her the whole way, and so have her children. Roberta, who you lovingly named. Do you remember what you called her? Bobby Star.
Bobby Star.
And her son, Rolf.
Not much I can do with that. Sorry.
Yeah. So now we're up to 1926. She's only 36 years old at this time. So she's had quite a full life already. And ups and downs, maybe, I don't know, not quite so many downs. She had kind of a meteoric rise, but her career...
Well, she was at one point preaching from a car, so she's,
Yeah, but that, she was pretty young at the time.
Yeah, she worked her way up.
Yeah. So, but there was some scandal and controversy during her lifetime. On May 18th, 1926, Aimee and her mom decide to go to the beach, Ocean Park Beach in Santa Monica. And so Aimee decides to go down to the water, and her mom did not. So she's just kind of sitting, I guess, on the sand. I don't know, kind of trying to watch her. And then
she's like, got to keep an eye on your 36-year-old daughter.
I would watch my daughter if she was going into the ocean. But she lost sight of her.
She probably had water wings, so I'm sure she'll be fine.
Well, Minnie lost sight of Aimee and started to get worried. And she thought she drowned because she saw her walk out there and then she just kind of disappeared. So she alerts the authorities and they immediately start this huge search. And a lot of the church members come down and help aid in the search. And the police are involved and everybody's out looking for her. And some of her followers actually go into the ocean to try to find her. They're assuming they're looking for her body.
Yeah.
2 men actually died.
What?
In the ocean.
Searching
looking for her. Yes.
Wow. First of all, if you're going to die by going into the ocean, you maybe shouldn't go into the ocean. Did they know how to swim? Did they have water wings?
I don't know.
Probably shouldn't have gone.
No idea. But so anyway, she was never found alive or dead while they were searching for her in the ocean. And then thing as usually happens when something like this happens, there were sightings of her. People reported seeing her all around Los Angeles County.
Really?
Yeah. And sometimes, very many miles apart. So
how long did this last? So Aimee Semple McPherson has disappeared. Last seen in the ocean.
Correct.
Interesting. Now seen tooling around LA.
Well,
allegedly.
Yes. All over the place.
Like, is it like Elvis sightings? Maybe? Okay.
I think so. And the church started receiving calls and letters from people claiming that they knew where she was. And some of them included ransom demands.
Oh, interesting.
So these were, looked into, and they were never found to be credible.
Yeah.
And after weeks of unpromising leads, Minnie gave, she thought she's dead. She she drowned, and they just never found her body. So on June 23rd, so almost a month later, they decided we better have a memorial service for her. Shortly after the memorial service on June 23rd.
Wait, they had the memorial service already?
Yes.
Okay. And they didn't see her, though, so she didn't Tom Sawyer it and show up at her own.
No.
Okay.
Nope. Her mom received a phone call, and it came from Douglas, Arizona.
Douglas?
And somebody said, Aimee McPherson is alive. Really? She's in a hospital in Douglas, and she's telling her story to the sheriff.
I just went to get a churro at the beach. Next thing I know, I wake up in Arizona a month and a half later.
So here's her story. She says she met a couple on the beach in Santa Monica who said they had a sick child. And will you please come? She's in the car, or they, I don't know if it was a boy or a girl. Okay. Will you come to our car and pray over our sick child? Because, she was known to be a healer. People believe she was a healer.
She was a healer. Okay.
So she said, sure. When she got to the car, she said they shoved her in the car and put a cloth with chloroform over her mouth. And so she passed out. And then they drove for hours and hours and hours. And she ended up in the desert in Mexico.
Where people would sometimes go for illegal abortions. Intriguing. Go on. I'm not casting any aspersions at all.
They kept her in this ramshackle shack. And
ramshackle shack. I love that phrase. I'm going to try to work that into as many sentences as I can.
And I think she said there were like 2 men and a woman. And she finally, they were probably taking turns, watching her. And then one day, finally, they were all the kidnappers were away. This is in Mexico. Okay. All the
How does she know it was Mexico? Were people speaking Spanish? Because that can't possibly be Arizona or California.
Well, we'll see how she knows she's in Mexico.
She just had a feeling. Oh, she finally got her churros?
Well,
or maybe a quesarita?
She somehow managed to get free, right? Because she's telling people in Arizona her story.
Okay.
So
yeah. Well, maybe not. Maybe they took her there. Where's Douglas? Is it way down by the south border?
You'll find out.
I want to know now. I know
listen
everything
to
now.
The story.
No.
So one day, when they're all 3 kidnappers are gone from the shack, she escapes out of a window.
Oh, okay. The ramshackle shack.
The ramshackle shack. Okay. And then she had to walk. So she was in the desert of Mexico. Oof. Don't ask me how she knew what direction to walk, because I would have no clue.
North.
She walked 17 to 20 miles in the desert.
Did she have shoes? I hope she had shoes.
In June.
Oh, brutal. Was it in the state of Chihuahua?
She walked to a Mexican border town where she collapsed because obviously.
I mean, she's exhausted.
And then she told them, she probably said, I'm very famous. Mm-hmm. I've been kidnapped and I'm American.
Please don't re-kidnap me, but I do have a lot of money.
So in that Mexican border town, that's where they took her to Douglas, to the hospital.
So Douglas is on the other side. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Border town.
I don't know what border town is near Douglas and
It's Mexico, not Ciudad Juarez.
I don't know.
Because that's near Brownsville.
So she then is brought back to Los Angeles. She must not have been seriously ill or injured.
No.
And when she returned to LA, she was greeted by estimated 30 to 50,000 people.
Not as much as Selena's funeral, but still pretty impressive.
I don't know how many people were at Selena's funeral.
I'm going to say 100,000 people.
This was more people turned out for her than turned out for President Woodrow Wilson's 1919 visit to Los Angeles.
He was, I mean,
I don't know why they chose that to compare it to.
Woodrow Wilson. Yeah, everybody loved him in 1919, not.
So, do you think everybody bought her story?
I think everyone bought her story. I don't think it had anything to do with an illegal abortion at all.
Where are you getting this illegal abortion thing?
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay. I thought you knew.
Errol Flynn went down to Mexico to have sex with underage girls. I don't think she's doing that. So I'm trying to think of some reason to put her in Mexico.
There were actually a lot of, well, I shouldn't say a lot. I have heard of more than one or two well-known actresses who were taken down to Mexico for illegal abortions.
Oh, yeah.
In like the 60s.
So that's where I got it from.
Yeah. Well, so
why did you ask that question? I'm confused.
No,
why did you say such a thing? Actually, it
in
turns
relation
out,
to Aimee Semple McPherson, okay. I thought you knew something about her.
Well, no,
or you had heard something about her.
I mean, that would be hardly unsurprising. Or even, how long was she gone?
Almost a month.
Okay, so I was going to say it wasn't a pregnancy that she didn't have a baby on the slide. It's not nearly long enough. No, she really didn't show. Did she wear a lot of big dresses before? The muumuus?
She did. I don't know what she wore, but when she was preaching, she was wearing like a robe.
Interesting.
With like a cape over it.
Okay, well, I'm going to say that's alternative two, is that she went down there to have a baby when she really started showing to the point where she couldn't hide it anymore.
Well, what'd she do with the baby?
Left it in Mexico. Okay. Obviously.
Well,
there's a lot of churros down there. We know she likes churros from earlier in the show.
Her church people probably supported her. They were probably super happy that she was back. LA officials and prosecutors, however, were not so sure she was telling the truth. Yeah. And they had different theories about, what they thought she was doing. Some of them thought it was just a publicity stunt.
Yeah. I mean, this is reminiscent of Agatha Christie, which I think is going to happen a couple years after this, actually. This is 26? Is that what you told me? I think Agatha Christie had her famous disappearance in England, where she was in a hotel for 9 days. A little after this, I believe.
But that was stress-related, right?
Yes, but she let it go on, knowing there was a massive
search
woman hunt for her for far too long. Yeah. She was condemned mightily, and a lot of people thought, and she thought her career was over.
Yeah,
and she was a fairly famous novelist.
Yeah,
she had a couple of hits, but she wasn't huge yet, like she had shortly become. So she thought her career might be over. With Aimee Semple McPherson, this is not. It doesn't sound like it's stress related because you don't lie about it. Agatha Christie didn't lie about it, and either we believe her, the chloroform kidnapping, where they're keeping her for a month, not, by the way, asking for ransom for that month. And then she walks 20 miles to the border and collapses. That, no.
I don't think I could walk 20 miles.
Sure you could. You'd be surprised. For a churro, I think you might.
What is she eating and drinking?
Churros. I'm fairly sure I've established that.
No, she wasn't.
Yeah, no, that's a long way to go.
Yeah. In the desert?
Yeah, no, she did not walk 17 miles. She'd probably die.
Unless she did it overnight, maybe, but still. Then it'd be too cold.
And there'd be the scorpions.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I kind of don't believe that.
I don't think anybody believes it. It's a ridiculous story. She for sure did not.
So
there's no truth to it. So what was she really down there?
Well, they finally ended up with the story that she actually ran off with a former employee from the church who I believe was also married by the name of Kenneth Ormiston. And they weren't in Mexico all this time.
No.
They started off in a little cottage in Carmel that Kenneth had rented. And they only stayed there until around the end of May. So they weren't there for all that long. And then they traveled for 3 weeks. So they must have been there for about a week.
Okay.
And then they traveled around for 3 weeks. And they ended up near someplace near Agua Prieta. I'm assuming that is in Mexico.
Sure.
So he drove her down to Mexico. And, oh, wait a second. I'm going to start that over because I skipped a line in my notes.
That's all right.
So they stayed in the Carmel cottage that Kenneth rented for them for around a week. And then they left at the end of May. And then they traveled around for 3 weeks and just stayed hidden. Motel 6s. I don't know where they went. And
Best
then
Westerns. If you don't want to hide, you go to a Best Western because no one else is going to be there. Just kidding. Best Western, sponsor us.
I don't think Best Westerns existed at the time.
Okay. Damn it.
I don't know if Motel 6s. I'm
Probably
sure
not.
there were all kinds of little motels I could have gone to. So then around June 22nd, so that's like I think the day before she surfaces, he drove her to Mexico.
So they had this amount. I mean, they must have had an idea how they're going to end this. We want to have an affair, have a rollicking good time on the sly. We know that can't go on forever. What's going to be the end game here?
Yeah.
It's like go to Mexico and pretend you. I mean, that they couldn't have done better than that.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. They probably wound up in Mexico to continue their frivolity and got, hey, you know what? It's time we got back to the real world. Let's just have you. I'm going to drop you off right here. Say you've been walking for 20 miles.
Yeah. So he dropped her off about 3 miles outside Agua Prieta.
That's kind of a dick move.
So then she walked.
Maybe half a mile.
She walked
Kenneth.
The rest of the distance. So Agua Prieta must be the border town. And
it means pretty water. I have no idea what it means. The Prieta part.
I don't know what that means. It doesn't mean pretty. Prieta. Isn't that the name of wasn't Loma Prieta the earthquake?
I think it was.
So what does it mean?
Prieta is a Spanish word meaning dark or dark-skinned, often used as a term of endearment or describe someone with a darker complexion. So dark water? That's a horror movie. This should be a setting for horror movies. Okay. Hey, do you want a vacation in dark water? Do I? I would love that. Nothing bad happens there.
So this was the prosecutor's story. I don't know how they found this stuff out.
What do you mean?
How they learned about this.
Oh. Someone must have fessed up. Maybe Kenny O?
Well, we'll see. I think probably at some point because he must have been seen in Carmel.
Yeah. Or maybe they pieced together. They had a starting point. They went and talked to a hotelier in Carmel, and those guys were here, and so on. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. Well, so Aimee never wavered from her story.
Yeah,
she maintained her kidnapping story, and
her credibility would have been shot. That was back then when it actually mattered. It doesn't anymore. Now you say, I have sinned, and you beg for forgiveness, and you're bigger than ever.
Yeah. And she had witnesses who would corroborate her story. I don't know who they were.
Yeah, the kidnappers. That's not true, Aimee.
So a lot. I just said I didn't know where all the story, where their story came from.
Now you realize you do.
Yes.
It's him, right?
Well, no, this is a lot of the evidence against her actually came from reporters.
Oh, so they were
who were passing information on to police.
Yeah,
so
I said the police. I now realize how foolish that was to have said that. No, for sure, reporters were much more industrious. They're probably also they probably traced her entire trip.
Well,
eventually,
I don't know that they were following her, but they probably they were talking to people
after the fact.
Oh yeah,
yeah. They found out where she was in Carmel, and they follow the trail from there.
Yeah. And a lot of the funding of the investigation was funded by newspapers.
Oh, yeah.
More so than the police, to like $500,000 they spent.
They had money to burn.
Yes, they did.
So William Randolph Hearst was one of the richest people in the world based on newspapers.
Yep. And so the case was taken to a grand jury. They were not only charging her, they were charging her mother as a co-conspirator, and maybe her daughter.
Her daughter? How old was her daughter by this time? 6, but still, she knew too much. She was a liability.
No, maybe not her daughter. Well, I'll find it when I get to that part in my notes. But her mother for sure. So her mother, they go to the beach. Where's Aimee? So
I like that. That's a spot-on impression of Mrs. McPherson. What was her first name again?
Minnie.
Okay, Minnie McPherson. That sounded a lot like
Minnie
her.
Kennedy.
Minnie Kennedy McPherson.
You don't take your daughter's married name when she gets married.
You do.
It's weird.
If she's famous, you do. You might.
So it was taken to a grand jury, and you know how grand jury proceedings are supposed to be secret?
Mm-hmm.
No, not in this case. Both sides were talking about it. I think if you're the subject of a grand jury, you're allowed to talk about it.
Yeah.
But the prosecution's not. But the prosecution would pass along stuff to the press.
I like that attitude.
And Aimee McPherson was talking about it on a radio station.
Nice. Okay.
She was broadcasting her side of the story, which is typical, I think.
And then I had my churro when suddenly.
So then in early November, I guess she was indicted, and it was set for a jury trial that was going to start in January 1927. Sure. So she was charged, her mother, and other defendants. So I don't know who, maybe
Kenny, we think.
I think he was just a witness, though. Wow. But they were being charged with criminal conspiracy, perjury, and obstruction of justice. Wow. If convicted, she could have gone to prison for up to 42 years.
Well, she did get a couple of people killed.
Absolutely.
So it should have been some.
There should have been something, related to that, I would think. But
I would think.
So the prosecution case had some problems.
Oh.
And I could see this given all of the shenanigans with the newspapers
all
and
their
press
evidence
and
was
stuff
bought by the press.
Mm-hmm. So they were having credibility issues, probably with some of their witnesses and their stories, and some witnesses were changing their testimony.
It was not the ramshackle shack. It was a very nice hovel.
Evidence had suspicious origins, because where the heck did this come from?
I like that, Carrie. Clean up that language right in the middle of the sentence. Where the heck did?
or evidence was mishandled or even lost. So that's a problem.
That is a problem.
LAPD.
Or it was paid off to have been lost. Mm-hmm. This is a more corrupt police department. Everybody always said that the LAPD, the Chicago Police Department and New York were super corrupt. LA was violent. They were very corrupt as well.
Yeah. Well, so it was supposed to start the trial in January. On January 2nd, good old Kenneth says, oh, wait a second. So I'm assuming he said, yes, it was us at the cottage, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Now he says, you know what? It wasn't really Aimee. I was there with somebody else.
Oh, my God. This entire time.
And here she is. This is what she looks like.
God.
She looks very suspiciously similar.
So
Aimee
and McPherson had found a double.
Yep.
And had Kenny and paid off Kenny too. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So this also, since that story is just as ridiculous as the original story, is sort of compounded. It ironically makes the original story even less likely.
So then on January 10th, all charges against Aimee and her mom and all the other people were dropped for lack of evidence.
Quite the scandal, though.
Mm-hmm. It was a huge scandal.
Yeah.
There were months and months of, salacious, bad news stories were, being reported about her. So,
well, she did run off with a married man for a month-long sexcapade from Carmel to Agua Prieta. No, Agua, what was it?
Prieta.
Agua Prieta, dark water, of course.
Yep. And just the lying about it, and 2 people losing their lives trying to find you. Mm-hmm. So she still, tried to continue on as normal. She still had church members, and, people were still attending her services.
As they will.
Oddly enough. But she did fall out of favor with the press.
Okay.
So they probably stopped reporting on her positively. They had, I told you, they had newspaper reporters were totally taken in by her faith healing nonsense. And they had called her.
Wait. You're saying that her faith healing is not real.
Well, I personally don't believe in.
Well, I don't think you should
faith healing.
Impress your controversial opinion onto Aimee Semple McPherson, who gets.
Do we need to roll the tape to see what you said about it?
I don't know what you're talking about. I can't comment on that.
So Now they're no longer calling her a miracle worker. Their stories about her are focusing on disturbances in her household.
Mm-hmm. There's other disturbances
Yes.
besides going on a month-long sexcapade, and guess I'm bringing back the word sexcapade. By the way, I looked up Agatha Christie. She actually disappeared not a couple of years later, but a few months later. She disappeared in December of 1926. So you think
that's how she got the idea?
I don't know. It didn't end well for Aimee, so I don't know if it's that. I think it was just stress-related.
Yeah,
and she wanted to be out of the limelight and away from her husband, who induced it for Agatha Christie was a pretty stressful situation with her husband.
I'm on Agatha Christie's side.
Yeah, but she shouldn't let it go on for 9
No,
years.
she shouldn't have.
No.
I think she was just trying to teach her husband a lesson.
Damn right.
So,
but when you're famous, you can't Sherry Papini it. Sherry Papini did it without being famous.
Yeah.
So, you know what?
She did it to try to be famous.
Damn it. It's never right, I guess.
Nope. So anyway, there were disturbances in her household, like differences of opinion with her mom. I think stuff going on with her mom.
Booter.
But despite all of this, they estimated up to 10% of the population of Los Angeles were members of her Foursquare Temple Church thing.
Certainly not true, but that's all right. It makes a good headline.
Movie studios were competing to get her to appear in things and sign contracts with them. She believed that film would have been great for Christianity. And so she, thought about doing it. And she did appear in some stuff. She kind of became enamored with the Hollywood culture. She did appear in newsreels with Mary Pickford, Frances Perkins, don't know that person.
Very famous at the time. Huge.
What, man, I'm assuming?
Not sure.
Okay. You liar. I thought
no, it's a woman.
I thought you knew.
No, that was a very famous actress.
Okay.
I'm now going to look up if indeed that was a famous actress. Go ahead.
Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Frankie D.
Yeah.
Wow.
She lost weight. Cut her hair.
Because she was pregnant before she went to medical. I'm kidding.
Cut her hair into probably a cute little 20s bob.
Sure.
And dyed it blonde. Bleached it blonde.
Oh, Frances Perkins was the former United States Secretary of Labor. The first female. Okay, so I was way off, but I did get the female part right. And it was a non-androgynous name. So
yeah.
So that's impressive.
That is impressive.
That I had a 50-50 chance. That I thought that a Secretary of Labor was an actress. That's maybe she did some newsreels. So,
well, she started wearing makeup.
Oh,
and wearing jewelry.
Okay,
and
was it just a cross, one of those giant crosses everybody is wearing right now? It seems like
she became very Hollywood. If you could see you could see pictures of her before, she had brown hair, and then all of a sudden she looks like a actress.
She had a makeover.
She did have a makeover. She had a glow up, is what it's called.
All right.
And she started dressing very stylish. And this courting of Hollywood and all that kind of stuff made some church members take a step back and think, I liked you better before.
Yeah, Hollywood was probably already seen as kind of sinful.
Yes.
Because in the early days, this is after the Hays Commission. And the conservatives, Americans, were really attacking Hollywood at this time because it was in the teens and early 20s.
Yeah.
It was pretty raunchy.
Yes, it was. It was probably a lot of fun, too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. And unless you were an actress being raped by Fatty Auerbach and murdered.
That's true.
So, otherwise, yeah.
Later in 1927, she decided to go out on a tour. And she was doing this to take advantage of the publicity from her kidnapping story and preach to people. She even would visit nightclubs, which were
strip bars,
not legal at the time.
Porn sets. They just trying to get the message out any way she could.
Including, have you ever heard of Texas Guinan?
Have I heard of Texas Guinan? Of course I've heard of Texas Guinan. Go ahead and tell the listeners what that is. Though.
She was a former, I think she...
As a name, I legit thought it was either a place, a bar, or a disease.
No, it's a woman. Her given name is in Texas, but she was from Texas. And I think she was she was in the movie industry. She was a little bit older than her, but she really took advantage of Prohibition and she really took advantage of Prohibition, and she started off as like a entertainer in speakeasies.
Yeah.
And then she eventually and made them a whole lot of money, and they would like split the profits with her 50-50.
Oh, wow. So she opened her own bar.
And then she opened her own.
Or nightclub.
I think she had several speakeasies.
Yeah. Okay. Huh.
And because, they'd get raided and shut down, and then they'd pop up somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So Aimee Semple McPherson even went to her speakeasy where she supposedly preached to the crowd.
Preached to the crowd while drinking bathtub gin.
Seems a little bit weird. Mm-hmm. Her going to bars and stuff kind of added to her notoriety.
Oh, God.
Newspapers decided to write reports about them, of course.
All the conservative evangelicals who got caught with prostitutes, they were just preaching to those prostitutes, trust me.
They even reported on rumors that were supposedly erroneously implying that she was drinking, smoking, and dancing.
Dancing? Well,
we knew she wanted to dance when she was younger.
That's true.
So who knows? A lot of people.
Can you believe that? Drinking, smoking, and dancing.
Yes.
Like scandal.
Yep. Well, if you're a woman of the cloth, Dean, you shouldn't be doing those things.
I suppose, but still.
So there were a lot of claims made by men that she was having an affair with them.
Well, of course she was. She has needs. She's a human being, Carrie. She's lost 3 different husbands, all of whom sounded very boring and stolid.
Just
2.
I don't know if this is, I don't know if she was having affairs. I wouldn't be surprised if she was.
I do.
I wouldn't be scandalized if she was, but one of them.
We know she did. She had a sexcapade. Do you forget her sexcapade to Carmelo, Mexico?
Oh, that's true. Yeah. She really may have been kidnapped, though. I don't know.
She just liked to have sex in ramshackle shacks.
All charges were dropped.
Milton, are you worried about getting sued? Yeah. Allegedly, she lied to her people.
Milton Berle wrote in a memoir, I believe, that they had an affair.
Well,
and some
what time? What are we, late 20s now? What are we at?
Yeah, we're in the late 20s.
Okay. Milton Berle goes far back.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know when he's claiming they had the affair, but and some Canadian journalist claims they had an affair. And some people, including the church people, the temple people, would hire private detectives to follow her.
Really?
But none of them were able to find any evidence of her having an affair. And so by 1931, when she was going out and about, she would always be chaperoned. She would make sure there was somebody always with her so that somebody couldn't then make an allegation that she was having an affair with them.
That's not a foolproof theory, because guess what? It means you need one person to lie for you and they work for you. So
I don't know. I don't know who was chaperoning her.
For sure an employee.
Anyway.
No question. A church employee. So yeah, not foolproof.
So you know how I said that the newspapers were reporting on disturbances within her household?
Yeah.
She and her mom were not getting along so well around this time. And her mom actually left the temple and took with her some church members, including 300 members of the choir. How many people were in this choir?
Was the entire church just a choir? Oh my! Did they sell those choir robes? Maybe that's why. So everybody got to be. I'm in the choir. Wait, are we all in the choir? We are all in the choir.
Her mom called for a staff member confidence vote against Aimee.
She's trying to take over,
which sounds stupid.
It does sound stupid.
But the mother lost.
It's not like she's an employee of the church. She founded this church.
Exactly. So they were arguing over management issues.
Yeah, well, and they probably are incorporated in some sense, I guess. And maybe the church owns the properties and things like that.
Yeah,
not her personally.
Yeah.
So I guess
even her home where she lived.
Really?
Yeah, wasn't. But her mom didn't like her more progressive, modern ways. Yeah.
Wearing makeup and drinking.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. She probably was really pissed off when she bleached her hair.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They didn't like her. She didn't like her new clothes.
No, her mom, the 14-year-old nanny who married the 15-year-old who murdered his wife. Okay. Yes. She should be moralizing.
And her mom she had some administrative role in the temple. But so when she left, she tried to get involved in different projects, such as
the mom did.
Yeah, hotel building, cemetery plots.
Okay,
land sales.
Okay, so she was a grifter. Wait,
I mean,
she had always been a grifter. So
why
yeah,
did she just go back to the Salvation Army?
No. How old is she?
She had become accustomed to a certain style.
I guess she's not that old.
Living.
Is she? She's probably in her 50s even, huh?
Yeah, because if
she's very young when she had Aimee.
Yeah,
I'm assuming late teens or mid. I mean,
I'm assuming so too. Mid-teens, yeah, probably. So yeah, if you think she's like 15, 16 years older than Aimee, and Amy's in her mid 30s. Mm-hmm. So, yep. And so, but she gets pretty much into debt. So where does she go?
Back to Aimee.
Back to the church. So she comes back in 1929. Nothing's resolved. They are still arguing. So she resigns again in July of 1930. And so that same year, in fact, like a month later, Aimee McPherson has a physical and nervous breakdown. And she's gone. She doesn't preach for 10 months.
Wow.
And it said her diagnosis was acute acidosis.
Don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either. It's like there's too much acid in your body.
And
your organs that are supposed to, probably your liver and your kidney or whatever, are not breaking it down or something like that.
That could cause problems. That could cause
diabetes.
That could cause nervous breakdown.
Diabetes could cause
diabetes.
it and stuff like that. So but you know.
Wait, you did look this up?
Yeah, but I didn't find I'm telling you.
Acidosis is a condition where the body fluids have too much acid, resulting in an imbalance in the body's pH. Carrie, the body's pH. Huh. It drops below the normal range of 7.35 to 7.45. This is serious, Carrie.
But also, what were they calling acidosis in the 20s is my point. Who knows?
They just called everything acidosis. You have acidosis. We don't know anything else. I don't know. Sorcery. What is this? This is magic.
But so she's gone for 10 months. She comes back sometime 1931, I guess. So 1932, she gets married again.
What?
She marries an actor and musician, a guy named David Hutton.
Never heard of him.
Hutton. I don't think he was a super successful actor.
Bob Smith, Smith. You might have thought it was a Y. It's not.
And then she falls and fractures her skull.
Oh.
So, of course, what do you do after you fracture your skull? You go to Europe to recover and recuperate.
Yeah, well, usually Switzerland.
Which is weird. And she goes by herself.
Sure.
She leaves her husband, David Hutton, at home.
She's already done with David?
Well,
sad.
So while she's in Europe recuperating from her fall,
AKA skiing and partying, drinking legally.
No, she finds out
illegally, ironically.
She finds out that her new husband, David Hutton, was I guess working and billing himself as Aimee's man.
Oh, why would you want to do that?
Oh, he was in a cabaret. He was a cabaret singing act.
He had a G-string and called himself Aimee's man. He was a stripper. Just say it. He was an exotic dancer. There's nothing wrong with that. He went to parties dressed as a cop.
No, if you see his picture, you would not believe he was an exotic dancer.
Had a lot lower. This is pre-steroids. Much lower hurdles back then, okay?
And he was frequently photographed with scantily clad women. So she was not happy.
So she went to Europe.
And she believed that this was while she was in Europe.
Oh, okay.
She found out about this. His personal scandals were not good for the reputation of the Foursquare Church and her, obviously.
She didn't dump him?
So they separated and got a divorce in 1934.
That's 3 now.
That is 3 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that great? For her vocation? I would say not.
I don't know. She later publicly repented the fact that she married him for both theological and personal reasons.
Theological reasons. Okay. This is before Tamara Wynette, Stand By Your Man, by the way.
Yes.
She should have stood by her man.
So that's 1934. You know, she keeps preaching. Life goes on.
This is the Depression now, so.
Yes. And her church actually did do good works of service during the Depression. She
has a history of that.
Yes, they had a commissary where they fed people, and so they continued with all of that stuff.
Good for Aimee.
But her health does start to get not so great.
Well, acidosis can have a relapse.
Maybe she continued to have acidosis problems, but she also suffered from exhaustion and heart problems.
Dropsy? Pygmalion syndrome?
In September of 1944, she goes to Oakland for a series. She planned a series of revival meetings there, and she is going to preach her popular Story of My Life sermon How was the story of her life a sermon? But I don't know. So
From
1944.
Cars to Quiche.
So now she's in her 50s. She's 54.
Okay.
So Rolf.
Carrie says that like it's just crazy old.
It is.
54 back then is the new
the
84.
75 here now.
Yeah.
So Rolf is also involved in the church, and he's with her. And so the day after they get there, he goes to her hotel room in like 10 a.m. and he finds her unconscious, and there are pills scattered about, and he finds a half-empty bottle of capsules nearby.
Do you think she tried to commit suicide?
And then by 11:15, she was dead.
Oh no! What year is this again?
1944.
44.
So they later discover that she had called her doctor that morning saying that she was feeling sick from the medicine that I guess she was supposedly prescribed.
I wasn't supposed to take a half a bottle.
Her doctor was, remember a bunch were scattered about.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know how many she took, but she didn't talk to her doctor because he was in surgery. She then phoned another doctor who, instead of helping her, referred her to another doctor to call. But
I'm busy.
But
I'm on the 17th hole.
Passed out and lost consciousness before she could ever contact that third doctor. So she did have an autopsy, and the likely cause was a heart attack caused by an overdose of sleeping pills.
That causes a heart attack?
That's what they said.
Are you sure they didn't just say acidosis? Remember, they said that for everything.
They didn't say acidosis.
Okay.
In amongst some of the pills found in her room was secobarbital, which is a barbiturate, for which she did not have a prescription.
No.
So they don't know how she got them, where
Pill
she
popper,
got them.
Really? Because that's difficult.
No, it's not. But they didn't know where she got them. So obviously, with the circumstances surrounding her death, a lot of people were thinking, oh, she committed suicide. But most people ended up agreeing it was probably an accidental overdose that caused it.
I think so too.
So, because she did call the doctor,
There
was a trail that she called the doctor saying she wasn't feeling well.
Yeah. Her last wish, though, was to be taken back to that ramshackle shack in Agua Prieta for one last week.
I think she wanted to go back to the farm in
Canada.
In Canada.
Maybe. Yeah. With her 15-year-old mom.
Yeah. Or maybe back to China. She didn't want to stay in China.
She liked China.
Yeah.
Some good years there. Months, weeks, I forget.
So 45,000 people wanted to go visit her body.
That is Selena-esque.
That lay in state for 3 days.
Wow.
At the church. Some, they had to wait until 2 a.m. To see her. It took 11 trucks to deliver all of the flowers to the cemetery, supposedly valued at $50,000.
I bet, which again, as you know, is $7 million in today's money.
And even though, some people, like when they had left the church with her mom and all that kind of stuff, and they had all of these fallings out, all of those people returned for her funeral, including her daughter, and her mother was also there. So I don't know if that specific temple, the Los Angeles one in Echo Park, still exists, but the church still exists, the International Church of the Foursquare Gospel. And I think there's, her son is now in charge of it. And
now?
Well,
that can't be true.
He was in charge of it for 44 years.
Okay.
He's probably dead by now.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, he could be alive.
I don't know. He'd be pretty old.
He would.
More than 54. Which is
Wait,
really
what year? She died in 44.
44.
So he led it for 44 years, so that would only be 88.
Yeah,
so yeah,
he did.
He's dead.
I see he did. 60,000 people, by the way, showed up for Selena's funeral. According to
so that's more. Yeah.
Pretty big. Although if you control for population, as a percent of the Los Angeles population, I think Aimee's was bigger.
Yeah, probably. So the Foursquare Church, as of 2019, almost 8 million followers.
Really?
Worldwide.
It's still around. Wow. 8 million.
Yeah.
Do they still have a presence in LA?
I don't know.
Permanent.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if that church in Echo Park still exists or not.
I'm sure that does.
But, how she probably earned millions of dollars in her lifetime through the church and everything.
Sure.
Her personal estate, though, when she died, only worth $10,000.
Really?
Yeah. Her daughter, Roberta, received $2,000. The rest went to her son, Rolf.
Wow.
So
how is that possible? So they hid
$8,000
some money. They hid a shit ton
in
of money.
1944.
No question.
I mean, that's her
Can't be true.
personal. Maybe she was really abiding by.
Oh, you're nuts. Right. One is
vow of
Ralph
poverty.
or the daughter, I think, and the mom, I would guess, because the mom. What was the mom's dead?
I'm assuming maybe most of it just was in the church. It all belonged to the church.
That's a lot of churros.
Because
I don't know that
the mom.
She's going to spend that much money.
So 10,000, her kids get it, 2,000 and 8,000.
Mm-hmm.
Her mom, however, had when she originally left.
She gave one kid 2,000 and one kid 8,000.
Yes.
That's wow.
She had
fairly obvious who her favorite was.
Yes. Her relationship with Roberta became a little strained. I think Roberta took the grandma's side.
Oh,
Minnie's side. And but when Minnie left the church in 1927, she had a severance settlement. She got around $200,000.
Wow.
It says in cash and property.
Huh.
So she was doing
but then
well.
She blew that on trying to sell cemetery plots.
Yeah.
So,
and the church was worth $2.8 million, it said, at that time.
So the $10,000 in ready cash seems preposterous. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's expensive. Escapades are expensive though.
Yeah.
So maybe.
And at some point she had this really kind of modern looking at the time home in Lake Elsinore.
Oh.
Where she could go and get away from
stuff.
Still around. Yeah, I don't know.
So she may have had millions, what would now be millions tied up in property, I imagine, right? She did, right?
No, I think she only had the Lake Elsinore house. And, I mean, maybe she built it, but it was in the name of the church.
I guess so, yeah. Huh.
Could have been.
Interesting.
And where she lived, the parsonage was at the church. It was part of the church. So, yeah.
That might be the most surprising part of the entire story.
Yeah. What?
How much money, how little money she ended up with for someone like that. I mean, she was, running off to Europe and spending 10 months there. So she had a lot of moolah.
Yeah. I think she just didn't put it in personal accounts or whatever, but she was using it, obviously.
A lot of it, yeah.
To buy jewelry and hair dye.
And churros.
Jewelry. And stylish clothing.
Hair dye, and churros. The Aimee Semple McPherson story. That's our title.
Churros.
She loved churros, remember? It's a fact.
I'm
not gaslighting the audience at all.
Well, they don't know that you're not privy
like
to the facts.
I think by now they do.
Well, that's it. The end.
Well, thank you. That's the fascinating story of the Aimee Semple McPherson saga. I thought I do remember that she disappeared and it was a big scandal. I had forgotten though that it was, just sort of disappeared from the beach and they thought she had drowned there. I thought it was something. I knew she ran off with a guy.
Yeah,
I didn't remember that, but I didn't think it was that. I mean, that clearly was a plan. Obviously, we're going to the beach. I'm going to ditch my mom by saying I'm going out to the water, and I'll meet you. You'll pick me up over there. Here's the story. We're going to go right to Carmel.
I mean, the mom was prosecuted for it. So
Mom, I don't think it had anything to do with it.
You don't?
I'm changing my mind right now in the middle of the sentence. Maybe. I don't know. Do you think so?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. Well,
covering up for it? I don't know. The way
if it was to go have an affair with a man, no. But she could have lied to her mom.
Yeah, she could have. But you're right, though, because she did get $200K at that severance. And that smells like she knew something that Aimee didn't want the world to know, that her mom essentially blackmailed her.
Yeah, maybe.
So maybe her mom did know about it and was I didn't, because if she really is watching her in the water, she didn't go into the water.
Exactly.
She's lying.
Yes.
Her mom's lying.
Yeah.
So okay. And that means her mom was, saying, "Oh, something, guys, go save my baby." And there, 2 men are getting killed while she knows her daughter is on the way up to Carmel.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Okay. Well, no one's really great in the story, which is very commonly true with our episodes. I think the best guy, really, honestly, the best person, Kenny O. I mean, he was just trying to have fun. He was trying to get
having an affair, cheating on his wife,
get Aimee churros. and go to Mexico.
Lying to prosecutors.
You know, you're right. And he also dropped her off 3 miles away from Agrippa. That wasn't cool either. So, okay. So maybe it was Rolf now because Rolf.
Harold McPherson. He didn't do anything wrong.
He was
her second husband.
Okay.
He was just some unassuming accountant.
Yeah. Harold. Harold's the guy.
Yeah.
That's our hero. That's our hook.
Well, I wouldn't say he's a hero. As far as I could tell, he never saw his children again.
Wow. Okay,
well, Rolf.
Let's go back to there's no one in this story who comes out well. Okay.
I watched some like documentary on it. I forget. I found it on YouTube. It was like the only thing that wasn't like super pro her. You know what I mean? It was, some of it just seemed like
that's weird to be pro Aimee
propaganda.
At this point. Is it? Well, the church is still around.
God,
maybe they're like the Scientology and they're pouring.
There
out
are
bullshit.
followers still who just think she was a saint, and there are interviews with both Roberta and Rolf.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. And Roberta just is like this little old lady who, you know, my mom was doing great things. So I don't, there were no talk of any sort of disagreements or difficulties or Rolf got way more money than
I know. That's bullshit. 8,000 to 2,000. She just did great things.
Yeah.
Like she loved gin, she loved dancing, and she popularized churros in the United States to a tremendous degree. So she has all those things.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that story, Carrie.
You're welcome, Dean.
Well, until next time, I think I know what we're going to do next time.
Okay.
But I'm not going to tease it because I'm not 100% sure.
That means 100% sure.
Yeah. It's Rachel Lee's. All right. Until next time.
Thanks for listening.